Once, in a small village nestled in a quiet valley, there lived a kind young girl named Angeli. Her heart was full of goodness, but she often felt sad. She would look at the world's big problems and then look at her own small hands, and she would think to herself, "I am just one person. My actions are too small to make a difference. What is the point of even trying?" Her feeling of helplessness reminds us of a timeless story, the story of the Festival of Lights. In a beautiful village, everyone was preparing for this wonderful festival. The people wanted to fill the night with the most brilliant lights imaginable. The wealthiest merchant in the village bought a huge, magnificent lantern made of polished brass and colored glass. It was so grand, it shone like a second sun. The village leader, not to be outdone, commissioned a special lamp with 10 powerful wicks, which burned with a proud, fierce light. All the villagers gathered to admire these dazzling displays. On the very edge of the village, in a simple little hut, lived an old woman named Mira. She was very poor and had no money for fancy lanterns. All she possessed was one tiny clay lamp, a little dia that she had lovingly shaped with her own hands. With great care, she filled it with the last few drops of oil she had and placed a simple cotton wick inside. She looked at her humble lamp and smiled. She knew it was not big or bright, but it held all the light and hope she had to give. When evening fell, the village was a breathtaking sight, shimmering with hundreds of grand and glorious lights. The powerful lamps cast long, dancing shadows, and in their dazzling glow nobody even noticed Mira's tiny, quiet flame, flickering softly in her window. But then, as the night grew deeper, the sky began to change. Dark, heavy clouds rolled over the mountains, and a fierce, cold wind began to howl through the valley. A sudden, driving rain began to fall from the sky. One by one, the grand lights were defeated by the storm. The merchant's huge brass lantern sputtered and went dark. The village leader's 10-wick lamp was extinguished in a single, powerful gust. The wind and rain were relentless, and soon the entire village was plunged into a deep and lonely darkness. The people were heartbroken. "The festival is ruined," they cried out in the gloom. "All our light is gone." But they were wrong. Not all the light was gone. You see, Mira had placed her tiny clay lamp in a small, sheltered corner of her windowsill, where the wind and the rain could not reach it. And there, in the complete and total darkness, its single, small flame was still burning. It was not a big light, but in the overwhelming darkness, it shone like a bright, beautiful star. A little child, lost in the dark, saw it first. "Look," he called out, his voice full of wonder. "A light! There is still a light!" Slowly, the villagers made their way through the darkness, their hearts drawn towards that single brave flame. They saw that the smallest lamp of all was the only one that had survived the storm. With gentle hands, they used Mira's tiny flame to relight their own lamps. The merchant lit his brass lantern. The leader lit his 10 wicks. Soon, the whole village was filled with a warm and gentle light once more, a soft glow that pushed back the night. And it was all because of one small lamp, lit with a loving heart. This story teaches us a simple, powerful truth. Never believe that your kindness is too small or your light is too dim. In a world that can sometimes feel dark and stormy, your single, steady flame of goodness is more powerful than you can ever imagine. It might be the very light that someone else is searching for. It might be the spark that helps the whole world shine again.